Yes, people. Yes, people. Bloody hell. Yes, people, and welcome back to another video on the Bridge YouTube channel where we bring you all things Chelsea. I'm your host with the most, the Bridge Nation, here today to give you Chelsea versus someone else now on the show. Chelsea versus why am I talking about Chelsea versus? Oh my god. I've actually had a stinker now. Welcome to the Chelsea transfer stream. You know what it is, you know how we do it here. Listen, we're back again for another transfer season. Summer season, as one might say, talking about obviously some of the latest transfer news in regards to the striker position. Make sure as you come in to make sure to like, share, subscribe. As always, helps me out, helps the channel out at the end of the day as well. We obviously have a last little chit chat about the Conference League final against Betis, of course, which is tomorrow. We will be doing a watch for that one as well. But realistically, we're going to be talking a lot more about the striker stuff, who we're probably going to be getting in, who's going to be coming out, some other transfer news in regards to some possible other positions as well. But listen, I'm not alone, of course. I do have a nice little panel with me as well. But listen, bringing back my partner in crime. He was here for the transfer sagas initially from last summer, and he is here again. My fellow transfer co-host guy, none other than Mr. Joey, aka Mr. Web Sports. How you doing, bro?
Big up, my guys. It's good to be back, bro. It's good to be back in our season. This is our season, right? This is our season, right?
Pretty much.
We got through the season, but this is our season. Me and your season.
Exactly, man. Indeed. And obviously, joining us as well is Scott. Big up to Scott, man. Hope you're doing well, bro.
Oh, yeah, I'm not too bad. Excuse me.
Not too bad. That's all right. But yeah, man. Obviously,
you know what's cool? You know what's cool? We got to see the progression of Scott get on camera a little bit more recently. Like, I've been seeing Scott get on camera a bit more. It's kind of nice to see Scott on camera. I'm not going to lie. Like, I saw him on Ziad's channel earlier. I was like, okay, Scott, get on the stream. Let's go.
Hey. But you know, listen, obviously, a little bit to talk about. I'll probably will start the news like this. I think, again, any striker we are going to get, we're probably going to find out, I'd probably say Thursday, Friday-ish, realistically. That's probably when we're going to find out who we're going for. if we've started agreeing deals or like personal terms have started to be begun to be discussed or agreed upon. But let's actually talk about some of these striker options, right? So the first one we should talk about, of course, is none other than Hugo Ekitike, whose name I've butchered. I'm just gonna call him Hugo from now on, because that's gonna just solve a lot of issues. Yes, but sadly my my tongue is not helping me on this one. But let's go. So obviously,
pause.
Okay. Let's just get our mind out the gutter there, lads. But let me increase just the size of the screen and fish share screen. Boom. Obviously, this was like the where is the one that I like to use? There we go. Obviously, so this was obviously the major one, which is that Chelsea are keen on signing Hugo Ekitike, but are valued at 84 million. Payment structure could be variable. Delap and Sesko, amongst others, being considered. But obviously, that's the main one. You obviously had Reese Hawkins much earlier. Bring it up. If I actually,
it's his pin tweet.
Yeah, it's his pin piece, which is this one.
Which is very telling news if anybody knows what that means.
Yeah, obviously this was Chelsea target Hugo Ekitike. The striker and Frankfurt have agreed to pursue a transfer if the interests of all parties are met. Frankfurt won between 80 million euros and 100 million euros. Several English clubs have approached the player and the club, among them Arsenal, Liverpool, and Chelsea. The Blues' interest is strong. PSG will receive a 20% of the profit made by the German club. So obviously he's pinned that one today. Maybe this is something else I'm not aware of. But listen, my knowledge on the player is quite limited. But from what I've read and from what I've seen, he seems to be from what I've seen people mention and say, he seems to be a much better version or a much more complete version of probably Nicholas Jackson, who we have on our squad. Pretty much. Obviously, he didn't have that time at PSG, which didn't go so well for him at the end of the day. But before that, he was one of the best up and coming strikers in the league, in league, and that's something I can tell you from because those were the early days of me watching League One. I remember him, so I remember him from. But again, the very talented guy from what I can see, likes to get in behind and do that sort of thing. So that's one of the striker options, of course. But I want to hand it over to you guys. What are your thoughts on him? Like, obviously, I'll start with you, Jay, because I already know what Scott kind of thinks.
Well, I've been watching him for about a year and a half. So he's one of those strikers that I just kind of like paid attention to while I was watching Bundesliga, because as you know, I watch a lot of Bundesliga.
Yep.
And he's honestly grown into my favorite player in Bundesliga. Okay, like. And I don't like, and then the one thing that when I qualify that, I qualify it by I don't consider anybody from Bayern Munich in this list, because there's just too many options from Bayern Munich that you can pick from that are just have a different quality. So I like to look outside of Bayern Munich when I talk about this specifically. And he is between him and Nick Woltemade. Like these are the two guys that I would say are the two strikers that I could think that could progress outside of this league and actually do really well. The only problem that I have with Hugo is he's lightweight. Like if he were to add 10 pounds of muscle on, this guy I think would be absolutely complete. Like and like at his height, he should get like it should progress more aerially the way that Isak has progressed. Not to say that he's going to be a target man, but he's going to win headers in the box the stronger that he gets. And that's kind of the key factor of where I separate him and Nico is going to be he's a better dribbler than Nico, where Nico's probably better with hold up with his back towards goal. I would say he is better at running at players and making decisions from that. The second thing that I would say that is very adamant for me to have that I would say that he's probably he is the better option from him and Sesko, at least. Like I only compare him and Sesko because they're more closer to price range. But like if it were for me, just like the instincts are in and around the box, I just think are just at a higher level than what we have currently and Sesko. Not to say that Delap isn't at a similar level to him in that manner. But I just there's not enough of a sample size of Delap going forward for you to give him the same type of consideration of the way that Hugo's gotten the ball in those spaces. And they don't have a ton of creators in that team either. They only really have Hugo Larson. So it's like outside of when Marmouche left, it was really just him creating for himself and creating for others. So it's all these guys are risks, but I think he has the highest upside between the three of them, in my opinion.
Fair enough. And how about yourself, Scott? How do you feel about him?
I'm very down on him. I don't think that there's enough of an improvement over what we already have from a profile perspective, or what we're lacking, for him to be worth what he is worth or what he's being valued at, and also for just what we need. I'll be honest, I haven't watched anything of him. So what I normally like to do when I haven't watched any, like, a player, is I'll look at, as much as the stats can tell me, obviously they can't, you have to take everything with a pinch of salt, but also I'll normally look at what people who watch a lot more football than me say. And one of the first people I always like to go to is Euro Expert, or who I think he's changed his handle now, but Alex, who was Euro Expert on Twitter. And his analysis of Ekitike's game is just red flags, major red flags.
I read that, Scott. I did read that. I do want to say something. I think he did overdo the physicality part. He made it sound like he doesn't want to get into a physical battle at all, and that's just absolutely not true. And that's the one thing I did want to make sure that I brought up, because I knew you were going to bring this Alex, and he's normally extremely, like, I would say 80% of his scouting report is normally on point. Like, I nearly always agree with a lot of what he's saying, right? Like a lot of the time. But from my aspect, especially the second half of the year, because that's a big part of this, is this: he didn't have the support of Marmouche for the second half of the year. Especially in the second half of the year, he came out, he showed up. So like that's kind of like where you kind of have to balance it, I would say, because that scouting report came out in March too. And there was still like another 2 months of the season left when that scouting report until that scouting report really ended, per se. So I everything that he said, though, is almost everything that he said is on point outside of the physicality part. I think he just a little overdid it a bit. That's the only thing.
That's fair. That's not even a bit like that. That's part of it, but there's so much more. Like, I think the bit that doesn't worry me, just because I think any striker we look at is going to have this issue outside of maybe Sesko, but I understand with Sesko there's a lot more issues that people have outside of this in terms of playing against low blocks. Unless we sign someone, I know, Joey, you mentioned this on Lewis stream. Unless we sign someone from a top club, any striker we buy is going to have to go from playing with more space to playing against low blocks. So what I'm then looking at is, what are you bringing when you're playing against a low block? What are you bringing?
Exactly.
What can you translate from how you're playing at the moment in space or in transition to a low block? Okay. And for me, this is where the highlights for me of Ekitike, again, based on what I've read and what I've seen, are highlighted more in terms of compared to the other two from a profile perspective. As is mentioned in the threads, Ekitike.
I think the one thing though you have to understand with him, and I sorry to interrupt you, my brother. I don't mean to do it in that manner. The one thing that I want to answer your point so you can get to your next point. The one thing that I think that can translate with him is, it's not like he doesn't have the frame to get bigger. Okay, that's first and foremost. Second, my biggest thing is like touches in the box. When you get the ball at your feet, what are you going to do with it, right? And with him, I know I don't have that issue because I know how technical he is with ball at his feet, and that's kind of the same way I feel about Delap, where ball at his feet, I know he's going to be able to keep tight control. And that's necessary in a low block system. But continue. That's how I think he would translate. personally.
I agree with you. I agree with you on the frame thing, but he would have to work that. And I think we have. It's obviously a very small sample size to the point I'm about to make next, but I have to make this point because we haven't seen it.
Mhm.
I don't think we've seen anyone yet at Chelsea that I can remember outside of maybe Cole. I know people have talked about this, but I don't see it to a noticeable level. We haven't seen anyone yet at Chelsea really develop that part of their game physically yet, in terms of actual like frame wise. I mean,
bullying someone, being able to truly
just
bully
more in terms of like we've seen obviously Reece James cut down weight. We've seen I think a couple of other players, Enzo maybe. I haven't seen anyone so far noticeably put on weight, the right kind of weight. I mean,
I would say Nico has from last year.
I don't think Nico has it. He looks again. Maybe it's just
stronger than he does last
year.
year.
The same to me, but I could be wrong. But I always thought Nico.
I would say he looks stronger than he did last year. Personally,
Who is this? Who is this? Who are we looking at right now?
we're talking about Hugo.
But the bigger issue I have, and I agree with you, Joe. It's the point you just made. You talk about touch in the box, and I completely agree. But part of touches in the box is the final touch, and that is the biggest red flag I have about Hugo at the moment, Ekitike at the moment, is
the finishing.
He doesn't fix the clinical issue. He doesn't fix the issue. If you're going to get one chance a game, which you might in some games, or two chances a game, which you might in some games, you won't always, you might in some games, are you going to put the ball in the back of net? Even if we create you 6 chances in a game, you put the ball in the back of net. I don't have that issue with Delap based on, again, a lot of it is stats based, and I understand, but Delap's
lower sample size that you have to kind of gauge in a manner, right?
Delap's stats are, he's scoring the chance he gets. He's literally, technically, he's overperforming, but nearest makes no difference. He's technically hitting what his expected goals are. He got 12 goals in nearest makes no difference, 12 expected goals. So if you scale that up, if you give him more chances, he's getting you more goals. With Ekitike, he's the worst in terms of underperformance of strikers. Definitely, I think in Europe. That's a red flag to me because we've already got a problem with an inconsistent striker.
Okay, but
here's the conversion rate as well.
Right? Here's the only difference that I have for you. The only difference that I have for you, realistically, is that this is a guy who can create his own shot, and there's not many strikers, period, that has that capability. Like in the manner of yes, but I'm not even. Once again, Delap is an outlier, overall, in my opinion, because we are going based off of it's such a small sample size, right? Like, and based off of the eye test, we all believe, most of us believe he has the capability. Okay, so just based off of an eye test, the sample size test-wise, you're not going to get the same type of shot like opportunities to be able to create shot attempts that the way that Hugo had, right? Where Hugo had to drag his team up the pitch and create his own shot, especially second half of the season. Before, it was he would drag his team up the pitch with his dribbling, and then he had Marmoush running off of him. And that is a as much as we say we need finishers, there's going to be points in the season where we're going to need someone to create their own opportunity too, right? Like, and that's where my only big like my big outlier of this is this guy. The stronger he gets, the better the shooting's going to end up getting. Like it showed with Isak, the way that the more weight and power that he had to be able to put on his shots allowed his technique, which is, and in my opinion, Hugo has the ability to become that type of striker. Like, you need both, and that's why I wouldn't go anywhere near Sesko because of the big. It's more mental with Sesko. Like, he has all the raw tools. Can you get through the mental with him?
Yeah, I think for me, I think you both make good points. Before I actually say what I've said, I just wanted to bring up obviously some statistics. This is obviously from FootMob. This is just player traits. Yeah, just compares him to his other counterparts in terms of touches, chance created, aerial duels won, defensive actions, goals, and shot attempts in general. But that's just general player traits or stats, whatever you want to call it. But I think for me, my question is quite simple with a guy like Hugo, right? If you're gonna bring in a guy like Hugo Ekitike, two things have to be after got two things. Is he the guy that is replacing in Nicola Jackson? Has he got a higher potential than him? Right? That's the question you got to ask yourself, right? Is he, when I get the finished article of Hugo Ekitike, am I getting the finished article, right? Am I getting the guy that's gonna be a top player at the end of the day? Because that's what Chelsea ideally wants these guys to be towards the end, right? And then secondly, right, the thing is,
Personally, my only problem is price with him. That's my only problem.
Yeah, so then my second thing is, then if that is the case, and then we're saying that it's only a little bit better than Jackson, are you then willing to pay that money? That's the question you have to ask them next, right?
You know
that's the next.
That's the next question. I had a look at what they bought him for. They'd be making 6 times what they bought him for if they sold.
The reason of the pricing, at least from what I can see, because obviously I think it's a good thing that.
But Scott, they bought him from a surplus of requirements. Like he was literally.
No, I get you, but even that's it. I understand he was surplus, but I don't think he's not increased his value by 6 times. And I know
the problem is, Scott, you know what it is?
That's insane.
It's the market. The problem is right now. It's the market. It's the market, bro.
The thing is nowadays the way that the market works is very much less so that you're playing for what a player has right now. You're paying for potential. Yeah. That's how the market works.
That and plus. What did they buy him, Scott? What did they buy? What did PSG buy him for? That's the better question.
30 million. They bought it for 30 million. I remember.
There you go. So at that point, you're talking about a player. If you got him for 70, a player that doubled his value from the age of 18. He's 22.
Also keep in mind. Hold up. Also keep in mind. Ekitike, PSG have a 20% sell on.
Yep,
that's what I'm saying. That's the other reason why.
So that's why the price is inflated. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
In reality,
if you told me right now 60 to 65 and we get him, if you told me right now it was 60 to 65 and we get him, I'd say there's no reason.
I think this comment by Uwani makes it best. I think realistically, you would have if there was no 20% extra you were given to PSG, it would have been 60.
They've already replaced him. By the way,
but I'll be honest.
They've already replaced him.
The issue.
They've already replaced Hugo, by the way.
With Burkhardt. The issue I have with all of this is, and I think Joey will like this. The issue I have with the whole Hugo thing, because if we're getting to strikers, I hear that, and I think Delap should be one of them, regardless, because the price, because of what he's going to bring to you in terms of scaling up. And I'll be honest. I'm going to preface what I'm about to say in terms of I don't think any of these 3 should be the guy we get in terms of number 1. It should be Gyökeres or Osimhen or Isak. It's not going to be. So we then have to try and accept, being like, okay, it's not going to be one of those 3 as much as it might piss us off. And I know RSM and Yumi and CNAT kind of made this point in Joey's, group chat of like, I'm accepting one of these 3 if you go and get me an 8 or 9 out of 10 level talent at the wing or centre back. Then I can accept one of these 3 strikers. The issue I have with all this with the price when it comes to Ekitike is a guy that we're looking at bringing to this football club and signing on a pre-contract for 2026. Who is going to cost you like half the price. And I understand that part of that is because he plays for Strasbourg. Mm-hmm. But for me, is going to bring you similar level of attributes that the Ekitike will. Minus maybe the dribbling. But is going to bring you similar attributes at less of a price. Is doing it in a league that's more translatable. Mm-hmm. And is going to cost you less. And is looking like it's going to have the same
better
level
in the air too. And he's
better in the air. That's the thing for me of like, so
the
problem is
here's the thing with Omega, right? My problem with the whole thing with Omega is the fact that they did the 2026. I have such a problem with that. Here's my thing, right? I've said it since January. We could have used this guy in January. Okay? We could have used this guy in January. All right? So if you don't end up with Liam Delap, he should just be walking into the club. It shouldn't be if Liam Delap is not a Chelsea footballer and he signs for someone else, it should just have been Omega in, period. 2025. He's in here, the backup striker, and you're sending Jackson to wherever you want to go, and you get the one striker that you want to get to. That's what it should have been.
But you know
By the
what?
way,
But the thing is, just quickly, Scott. Yeah, We know how this club works here. And Lucas Costa is right. Listen, Emeka might be a talented player. I've watched Emeka. I think he's a good player. I think he's got a good prospect to be an even great player. But we also know the way this club also operates in its ability to try to make money for its own self and then flip players for profit as well. Because that's part of the whole
But
thing
here's
too.
the thing: you can't I think Scott's going to say what I'm about to say. He's coming in 2026. You're not going to sell him that year.
No, I think
They
will try
may.
to.
That's
We
what
had
they're
this
going to do.
We had this discussion on Ziad's channel. I think because I said like this whole transfer, the whole
there
Omega
is a
thing
lot of
weird to me.
clubs wanting Omega, by the way.
I know the whole Omega thing. I find
Newcastle want him. Do you know?
I'm not surprised. Like he'd be a great backup to Isak for them. But the thing I find weird about this Omega thing is it's one of two things. You're either looking at having 3 strikers going into 2026, all of who in basically the same age bracket. So one of them has to leave. One of them has to leave. Or, like you said, we're getting him in 2026 to immediately flip him. I have 2 things with this. Number one, why don't you just do that this summer? If that's the plan, just do that this summer. What's the point of waiting to 2026? Unless you're hoping that he goes from potentially... What you're basically hoping for is he has, like... Are they in conference? They're in conference.
Here's the reasoning, right?
Actually, no, hang on. If he has an incredible...
But listen, Scott, they have Europa Conference, and they're like the 5th favorites in the Europa Conference.
Yes, exactly.
So now you have an opportunity for him to showcase his ability in Europe, even though it's like a lower European competition. He's still a young player with a young team that he's playing for. Like that 30 million you could get could go to 50 like this in 1 year. Easily.
The thing is,
think about Moise Kean, Scott. Think about Moise Kean. If you compare it to Moise Kean, it makes a lot of sense. He left Everton for about 30. If he played for Fiorentina, went and scored a bunch of goals in the Conference League, and then he's worth 50 at minimum right now. You see where?
You know what I was gonna say. Yeah, I think the benchmark for whatever you're going to see from Emeka is gonna be Jackson, because in my personal opinion, I don't know if I've already said I think Jackson's already out the door.
Yeah, me too. I think it's inevitable now.
Yeah,
I think there was 2
me,
things. There was the main thing, and then there was that price tweet about he apparently
yeah.
2 strike.
Yeah, I think for
you know
me,
what it, you know what it is, Joey,
about...
well, by the way, you know what it is? It was the news that the 2 strikers dropped, and if the club have even an inkling that Osimhen might be possible, we already spoke about the issue with having 2 strikers going to AFCON.
Here's the idea, right? The idea is this: if you're Chelsea and the way you're going to approach this thing, right? You go in and you take Delap as quickly as possible. Exactly, you get Delap fucking done, okay? Mm-hmm. You get that shit done. Yep, we have the best opportunity for him out of the clubs that's available outside of Newcastle, and you're not playing over fucking Isak. So it is the best opportunity here. At this current moment, there is nobody technically that you can't outplay. Okay, we're not. Most of us believe you have better ball striking ability than Nico, and you have better instincts than Nico. Okay, so it's your opportunity to come and take it, right? So exactly. Even if we sell Nico and we get somebody else, you're here. So we get you first. Okay, we bring you in first. All right. If you're going to bring Osimhen afterwards, fine. You have the opportunity to later on in the window, but bring him in first. Okay, you need to get the lap done first. We're walking into the Club World Cup with 2 strikers, regardless if we're going to sell Nico after it. Okay, regardless. Okay, so that has to be done that way. All right, for it to be a successful window in the way that we're going to progress it. And if we're going to get the main man in that position still, like, you need to at least lock the lap down. Like, that's it.
The good thing is,
and then you can go and you can move. If it's Ekitike that you want to do it, if we want to keep fighting for Osimhen or Gyökeres or one of these other men, you still have the opportunity to, as long as you just land the lap.
We need to, and this is the thing though, it's going to be done within the week, because every single report that has come out, right? Fabrizio, Ben Jacobs, everybody is saying that within the week, Delap is giving his answer to all the clubs within the week. So this will be done before the Club World Cup. It's probably gonna be one of the first transfer sagas done.
I think as well, like we can't afford to go into that Club World Cup. There's two things, by the way, and I know I'm maybe jumping the gun on talking about other players, but we need to get a striker and a winger done before the Club World Cup starts. Have you? I know me and Ahmed, or this got brought up. Like I spoke to Ahmed and Ziad about this. Joey and RSM, have you heard the thing about the England call-ups?
What?
They're not being released. We're going to miss 5 players minimum for that first game.
I didn't know that. So what? They're gonna miss what?
Unless Tuchel's lying, which he could be, but if I'm taking him at his word, he said he is not releasing any players.
So what? So game one of the group stage.
Guaranteed for game week 1, if that's the case, Miss Palmer, Colwell, Chalobah, Madueke, and James. Guaranteed.
That's big. That's big.
That means we go into that game with 1 winger. Not counting
that's our spine, bro. Yep.
Yeah, and so
unless
we have 5 players getting called up, you're right.
That's tough. That's really bad for us, bro.
So we have to get the transfers done, especially like I said, striker. We just need anyway, but winger as well. I'm not going into that first game with our wingers being number 1. Sancho should leave. That's just.
I mean, Sancho is forget about it.
He should be gone.
We already know that.
I'm not going into that first game. I don't care who it's against. I'm not going into that first game with it being George and Neto as our wingers, and then Madueke having to come back in.
Palmeiras, right?
I think it might be Palmeiras, but also Esteval can't play with Palmeiras. But then also, you've then got Madueke coming back in, either having played no minutes, very few minutes, or too many minutes to where he won't be starting.
Yeah.
Well, Madueke got called up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
but when he comes back, so I think he'll either be back. These guys will all be back either by their second or third game. But for some of these guys, like they're either coming back into this having just played quite a lot of minutes internationally,
about to fuck us
or
like
played
this,
no
bro?
minutes.
Tuchel's actually about to screw us low key, bro. I ain't gonna hold you.
Man.
Oh yeah, Delap is actually going to the under 21 England thing.
Fuck me,
Right?
bro. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so
bro,
that's why. This is why. No, but this is why I was just gonna.
We're getting done dirty, boys.
No, this is what I was just gonna say quickly. Yeah, Delap obviously getting done this week is gonna be one thing, but then the Hugo stuff has to also get done by the end of this week, if not early next week as well, because you also need him to get. You will also need him to get done as well if you want to bring him to the team.
By the way,
without Neto, we wouldn't be in Champions League, bro. I'm gonna be dead ass with you. The goal against Fulham, the multiple assists going in the run-in. Without Neto, we wouldn't be here.
No, forget about Neto. Neto playing false 9 saved the squad because Nkuku would have gotten us out of the Champions League. Simple if he kept playing.
Well, he was injured. Even then, he was injured, bro. Like.
Oh, by the way, I just had a look as well. Ekitike has been called up to the U21s as well. So whoever we get a striker,
but that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't.
So the first game is June 16th, right? Let me check something.
Yeah, those two might be allowed to be released.
It's June 16th.
Like Delap, because it's only under 21.
It's really just crucial.
Yeah,
he's screwing us. He's screwing us.
It's like I haven't heard anything from the French squad because I would have known by now if it was.
Caicedo and Enzo. By the way, they're getting a week rest before they have to join the team.
Yeah, there's a bunch of that's good because we don't play anybody for like 2-3 games.
There's a World Cup qualifier, so that's good.
Yeah, but we don't play anybody for like the first 2 or 3 games.
Yeah,
we play like Club Leon.
Leon is out. I don't know who it is, but it's
Leon, remember? LAFC. It's either LAFC or the minute.
We still haven't. They still haven't played that game yet.
Yeah, Tunis as well. We're facing Tunis as well.
I would say, me personally, I think Flamengo is going to be the hardest game out of the 3 that we're going to get.
Well, it's going to be Club America will be hard. Club America will get in. So it's going to be probably Flamengo, Club America, Tunis in that order.
Yeah, but Club America, with all due respect, we should do enough.
It's LA Galaxy or the
LAFC. It doesn't matter, bro. Like, I'll be honest. You could put any outside of the Columbus Crew, maybe any American team against Club America, they're losing.
Yeah,
like, respectfully, they're losing, bro.
And we beat Club America, like, respectfully, bro. Like, we're
we should beat them. But yeah, Flamengo are definitely the hardest team, which we face last.
Yeah.
No, we faced them in the middle. We faced them June 20th. It's the second game.
We faced Tunis last. For fuck's sake.
That's what I'm telling you.
It-
Flamengo,
listen,
yeah,
either
Flamengo
way-
is gonna be the
Yo,
most
but I
difficult
watched
game.
Esteban cook that fucking team on his own, son.
Yeah, but we lost to them.
Literally on his own, bro. He literally did that shit on his own. He cooked the team by himself. Like I know we don't have him, but like I'm not saying I don't know, bro. I'm just saying we
I'll be
could
real,
play some
yeah.
other players, and I think we could be all right.
Listen, I'll be real. We should be doing a good job against these guys. Like
Yeah,
again,
like,
either
we
way,
should be
man.
going sweeping
Yeah,
through.
like as long as we have our full strength squad by like either the last game against Tunis for them to get a nice little tune up, or so that we can get into the last 16 and quarterfinals, then I think we're in decent business there. I'll be real with everyone there. But listen, in regard to that, I don't think I would just mentioned obviously just right now. Obviously, I think Ekitike. We'll see what happens again. I feel like a lot of this news probably tomorrow night we'll probably find out after we hopefully win the Conference League. We'll probably find out again a bit more about what these targets are going to be. But either tomorrow night, if not Thursday, we'll know everything guaranteed. You know what this
Just
club
a
is
question,
like, man.
actually. I wanted to ask. Sorry to interrupt, Simon. I wanted to ask you three. Say we get Ekitike and Delap. Are we all in agreement that Ekitike is the starter going into next season?
Correct.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I'll be honest. For me, it's
problem
not
for
even
me-
based on. I'll be honest. It's not even based on like level. You can't be spending 84 if it is 84 million on a
Yeah,
striker
that's
on
the
a
thing.
guy.
Problem
Like,
becomes
you cannot have him start.
You can't spend it on a.
I think the problem is I get what you mean in terms of like the value, but then I think the question I would say or I would hit back at you is that I think Delap suits us more.
No, I agree with you. But then you can't spend. You can't spend 70 million on a
I
guy.
don't-
But I would argue that's a Chelsea thing, isn't it? Listen, Chelsea can do.
I don't
listen,
agree
we've
with
done
that.
crazy stuff. Would you
I
not
don't
say
agree with
so?
that.
The way we do the crossing and stuff like that, I would probably argue.
Yeah, but I also believe in build up, like just the way that we build up. Like we're more dangerous
fine.
in build up when there's a striker that's actually involved in build up. And not to
Fair
say
enough.
that Delap can't be involved in build up, but the way that Hugo is normally involved in build up and like the way that he drops into space and he can actually like
It's
dribble
really
that players and things of that nature. I think you're just getting more. You'll get more in that manner if you're going to be getting pressed the way that we've been pressed in a lot of these games. Because the funny thing is people still think that our problem is low blocks. It has nothing really to do with low blocks. It's when we get pressed in deep situations, we have no outlets. Like that's really what it comes down to. And Delap can be is one style of outlet, and Hugo's one style of outlet.
you guys also have to keep in mind
So,
that
that's the way I see it.
you have to keep in mind that internally the way that it looks like is that Delap is wanted by Joe Shields and Maresca, but Ekitike is more of what the sporting directors might want for the team.
Yeah, because statistically, right now, bro, if you put him up against any striker, if you just put the maps on the fucking wall, right? And you put all the maps on the wall on Data MB, and you just look at the maps and you put them all like this, right? Ekitike matches up with nearly everybody, any top striker in the world. I put him up against Kane's earlier today. The only thing Kane did better than him, like majority, was aerially. He didn't do that much better than him in anything else. Like,
yeah,
I
think, yeah, I just listen. At the end of the day, I think for me, listen, whoever starts, as long as they work within the team, it's fine. If one doesn't work, you at least can fall back onto the other one and to do a job. That's what I'm
saying.
Yeah.
You mean,
And for the price, it's gonna be very hard for Delap to
One of
flop.
the things I always spoke about, when
And even
we
if he
used to
does,
have,
you can get your money back on him.
yeah, one of the things I always spoke about with Isak was that even though yes, I wanted Isak, my problem was
he does have better aerial stats.
right. If I remove Isak from the equation, I then bring on Jackson. I'm still technically bringing on like a similar player. I'm not really changing that much in terms of like effectiveness going forward. That's why I think having an Ekitike and then having a Delap, right, is much better because you have one style of play or around a striker that you can play with Ekitike, and then you have a completely different way to play with Delap, in my personal opinion, which just allows us to shake things up. But obviously speaking about Delap, obviously he's the other guy that we've been targeting. There's been a lot of big news in general that I saw yesterday, or I think it was either yesterday or today, from that Chelsea have obviously overtaken United. obviously in the terms of like the race for him with the UCL and stuff like that. He's a lot more interested in us.
Did you hold on, let me see. Hopefully I liked it, but Fabrizio just did a video on his YouTube about it. Literally like just recently.
Yeah, I put it in that chat actually. I can bring it back up.
Yeah, if you could, yeah. But like, yeah, regardless, obviously Delap is 30 million. I've always said, you guys know me, I've always wanted Samu, who I think is very similar to him from last season.
I don't think he's similar at all, to be honest.
I think he's similar in terms of like the ability to drive with the ball. I think they both drive the ball quite well. Heading ability, obviously.
Samu, bro, I don't want Samu touching the ball other than at the last second.
This season, that
boy touches.
Last year, no, I hate it, but this season,
that boy touches fucking.
But this season, I'll be honest with you, I hate this season. I hate, but this season, he's severely. I would actually argue he's improved this season. So I want to give Samuel a little bit of love to Samuel. But regardless,
yeah, no, but Samuel hates us, so he's never coming here anyways.
Yeah. But regardless, listen, for me, I think Samu, again, as I've said before, is a, how shall I put it? Not Samu, sorry, but Delap is a no-brainer in my personal opinion.
Yes.
What he can bring to the table, what he can provide for you. It's just about now.
Even if we get Samu now, I'm not paying you $5 though.
No, but you know what it is? But you know, Joe, you know what it is as well, by the way. And this is the thing too, Ahmed, bro. For 30 M's, even if he flops, Everton will still take him for 30 back. Yeah, like 30 to 25.
This is the thing.
There's no way to lose on buying the lap, bro. The lap is a W any way you look at it, man.
I mean, it's not a it's a free
it's a free hit. It's a free hit.
Break even, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a free hit. It's a free hit.
Even no matter what, bro.
Yeah.
Because a player of that nature, him being English and all that shit, like you're always gonna get around 25 to 30 million for him. Like no matter what. Like he could be, we can have him for 5 years. He doesn't do a goddamn thing, and he'll still get 25 to 30 million for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's literally. Like that's literally what it comes down to, bro. Like I still would not count Everton out. I've said this from the beginning, and like people that's in my chat know it. Scott, I don't know if you watch the chat as much as RSM does, but I said this: do not count Everton out.
I think for me,
pay more than everybody,
dude. Joey said it this morning before Fabrizio even said that Everton were preparing a financial package.
Yep. I said do not count them out, bro. The thing is, I know people in the industry, bro. Like I went to school with people who went to school to be agents. Like this I know people who are in this industry. I make one phone call to a friend in Germany and he'll tell me 90% of what's gonna come out before it comes out. I knew Everton were going to put a big money package together, like a big money package together. Now it just depends on what's important to them, right? To me right now, it's either between us and Everton because I don't think Manchester United are going to offer what Everton's going to offer. Like that's how big this package is for them. Like,
I think United are still in it as well, but I think for different reasons. Like I think Fabrizio explains it here. I think. If you're looking at it from Everton's point of view, it's like I said, that's a place where it's a step up from Ipswich, but it's not too far of a step up where the pressure's too much. But in a couple of years' time, if you bang, you're getting that big move. Like you just have to perform and you're getting that big move.
He goes to Everton, bro. He'll probably put a release clause on his.
Well, that's what he says here, where he can leave in 2 or 3 years. That screams to me probably release clause or a gentleman's agreement or whatever. For Chelsea, like he says, we can offer Champions League, which could be important to him. And if for United, it's like. He will
not only that, if he bangs for us, bro. Ollie Watkins, bro, the position for the starting 9 for England is a bit open, bro. It's not open and shut right now because
regardless, bro.
But that's what I'm saying. And listen, if he comes and I'll tell him this, I'm sure that this is the thing. If he comes to Chelsea and he doesn't bang, he can always go back to Everton. But if you fail at Everton, you're not making the jump to a Chelsea United again.
I agree with that.
And I think the thing is as well with the England thing, by the way, even if he isn't straight away, like. Kane's going to retire soon. Tony's 30, so he'll retire soon. You then go, Watkins?
Not it. He's just not it.
I don't think he'd get more game time at Newcastle than he would here.
I also think with Newcastle.
No, he wouldn't get more game time.
Yeah. He's riding bench. He's riding bench.
You're still sitting behind Isak. There's no Isak here.
Unless they decide to start playing 4-4-2.
Which they're not going to.
I'm going to need your help with this. Who else do England have at striker?
They
Nobody,
have
bro.
they have Watkins.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah, he's
obviously
about to turn 30.
Calvert-Lewin, Watkins,
Oh, fuck
Calvert-Lewin, Tammy Abrams.
I told you, if he comes to Chelsea and bangs, it's
like,
his. The
what-
starting
uh,
position is his.
So RSM, so he's basically guaranteed at worst backup striker.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Ivan
behind
Toney's
what-
out of the picture at this point as well.
It's what I'm saying. Like,
They're all
obviously,
in their 30s.
what
They're
I'm
all
talking-
about to be 30.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. I'm
He's
talking in a couple
28,
years'
if I'm
time.
not mistaken,
I'm talking in a
27.
couple years' time when like Kane retires and Tony retires. Then it's like it's him and Watkins for that number one, pretty much.
Mhm.
The thing with United, what they can offer him is you're the guy. Like
Yeah.
you're the big piece
That's
of this team, which we're not going to offer. He's never going to be the main guy, big piece of this team, even as the main number 9.
No,
because it's always
we
going to
have
be Palmer.
we have Palmer, Caicedo, or even Enzo. Even Enzo's.
It's going to be one of those. Or
You're
if
talking
Does that
about
matter to
being
him?
the
But
face
does
of
that
the
matter
team.
to him? I think.
yeah,
I
the
think
face being the face
No.
of the team.
And again,
being
the hold up.
face team, I don't
By the
think would
way,
matter if you're winning.
Fabrizio,
That's the only
That's
thing.
my
Fabrizio,
point. I don't think that matters to him.
exactly.
I
Fabrizio also
think that matters
Fabrizio
to a
also
point.
pointed out immediately. By the way, the one thing he pointed about Chelsea is we can offer Champions League. Everton cannot promise ever that they're gonna get Champions League. Man United cannot promise next season they're getting back in the UCL.
But also Everton can offer a stepping stone, right? Like that's what Everton can offer. They can offer the
question-
of a stepping stone. You know, you're the guy here. You're going to be the main man here. You're going to get the opportunities here. You're going to be scoring the goals here. Like that's what that is. And then
I hate
you
that,
get your
yes.
next step, and we give you the opportunity to get your next step at a financial package that we've already pre-agreed upon. Like that's what he's getting with that. It's getting another year of more years of development.
But are
And
you?
he's close to home because
But he's risking it.
But for
Right.
me,
But he's
Joey,
risking
my
it, bro.
question would be to you.
Yeah, that's a risk. It's of
Yeah.
course it's a risk.
It's
He's
a
risking
risk,
it.
of
Like I
course,
told you.
But I think with Everton as well, Everton are a very topsy-turvy club right now, bro. There's no
Exactly, Lucas.
consistency there. With they're currently consistently fighting relegation. Yeah. What is to say that he's going to be able to develop within that? Yeah,
me,
as well.
To me,
Especially for a big team, bro, who has to play against low blocks. Everton are not playing against low blocks, bro.
Between the Champions League and Enzo and Shields, we are probably going to get him. Okay, like that's my honest opinion behind it. Okay, like I think also there's something to be told about with Maresca already knowing how he plays and the way that he wants to use him already. And he already fits the style of system that we could use him. It fits perfectly necessarily. Like he's not, and he still has the opportunity to develop because we're going to be able to give him plenty of game time, regardless on who we get as another striker. Like literally, regardless. Like to have let me ask you something, Scott. If you had Osimhen, right, and you knew you had a Champions League game, but you had Delap, you would play Delap in a game anywhere in the top 10, anywhere from an 8th place spot.
Yeah, but like Wolves, bro. For example, Wolves at home. Throw the lap on, bro. Save Osimhen.
8th place team all the way down. You play Delap.
Joey, I hear that, but that's not how teams work. Like even in those type of games, like for me, the only way that happens is if the number one. So let's say we get Ekitike and Delap. Mm-hmm. If Ekitike isn't as consistent as we want him to be, then you take him out to put Delap in. Like because most of the time, if you have a number one and it's of that level, like they're playing Wednesday and Sunday. They're playing Champions League and they're playing on the weekend, just because they'll demand to play.
That's not necessarily true, Scott. Especially if you have two strikers.
How old? How old is Delap? Hold up. How old is Delap? How old is Delap, guys?
22, I think.
22. They're all about 22.
22. So he's 22. No, hold up. Let's say, because, in this hypothetical, right, we're talking about Osimhen, right? Like, how old is he? He's like 27? No?
Yeah. 26 or 27. I can't remember. Yeah, he's 26.
Osimhen, or even either of the victors, bro.
Earlier today, he's 26.
Yeah,
either the victors. That's enough of an age gap where you could say, listen, 2 years developing, and then you could take the mantle.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. I think
if Victor comes in at 26, I'm expecting him at 28 to be in his peak. Like I'm not expecting Delap to take his spot at that point.
Yeah, I just wanted to just ask that question quickly to
And see that. Hang on.
let him answer this.
Like Alvarez basically didn't play that often in his natural position. He had to play number 10 or out on the wing because he wasn't playing striker because Haaland was playing every game this season. Obviously, it's a little bit different because didn't have one. Even when Marmoush came in, he played every game outside of one that he was fit for. Every game.
Yeah, but they don't actually have another recognized 9. Like
but even after Marmoush
Alvarez
came in,
doesn't
who is a
necessarily
recognized
9. He's more of a second striker.
Yeah, no, he's a second striker, 100%.
Like even that, like even Alvarez, like that's the thing is like we're sitting here and we're speaking about certain players. Like I'm talking about 2 actual 9s, right? 2 actual guys who play 9, right? Like that's what we're talking about here. Like, how many teams actually have that?
Yeah,
there's not many. Period.
Villa had it, but then Duran left.
Yeah, but look what they did with Duran, bro. They didn't give Duran the opportunities, and then he left.
Yep.
Just to answer EPL Task's question, the season before, so the season Enrique actually came into the team, he was trying to get his way out of the team, if you remember.
Yeah.
Right? Because and they tried to do the Frankfurt deal actually that season. So they tried to, because they got in Colomwani at the moment, but then he failed his medical actually to get into Eintracht
It was
Frankfurt.
part of the Colomwani deal to begin with. They loaned him out as part of the Colomwani deal.
But then he failed. But he failed his medical at Eintracht Frankfurt, if I'm not mistaken.
It was It was also way too early a move for him. Like the same window, he was linked with a move to Newcastle to be the backup behind Isak.
Yeah,
like he'd had. I've just looked at that point. He'd had 2 seasons of first team football, one of which was in the Danish league for a mid-table Danish team. He'd had 1 year of football at in France, and they got that move to PSG. It was way too early. He should never have gone to PSG.
Well, that was before PSG was doing their.
Oh yeah, that was before they're doing this smart stuff.
He was like they started to do this fucking French Revolution too early. They still had Mbappe, Messi, Neymar in the team, and they're trying to do this French Revolution in behind it. And like there's these young talents that ended up and Christopher Nkunku was one of them. Like there's plenty of names that you can go through that were French talents that got discarded through this regime of just fuckery that PSG were doing instead of building a French team like they should have. Like literally, that's all they should have done.
Yeah, I just want to say to you, EPL Tap, it's not the McDonald's League expert, so please just get it right.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
To be fair, man, they just lost their media. They just lost their media rights to do actually with the zone. So it's getting harder for me to watch the league. I'll be honest. It might be very hard for me to watch the league next season. So listen, man, it's getting harder every day, man. But listen, we've got to make it happen on Division Nation here, man. League and expert. It's getting harder to watch the league, bro. I don't know if they literally lost their rights deal with the zone. I don't know if you know that, bro.
Yep.
So
I'm glad you clarified that.
Yeah, well, fair enough. But listen, I think for me, at the end of the day,
that went over his head.
I know. I just want to keep. I'm just pushing through. Listen, at the end of the day, listen. I think Delap. I would like to think he'd probably choose us. You know, one of the things that I keep on hearing from a lot of these ITKs at the very least, even though again I always take them with a pinch of salt. I don't have any pinch of salt right now. Sorry, I'm very broke right now, I'm afraid, guys. But again, pinch of salt as usual. It seems that the Maresca and Joe Shields are having a really good effect of really enticing him to come to the football club, in my personal opinion. And I think also having that UCL football makes it very easier, obviously, to do that. Plus, I think if Ekitike, I think he'll probably knowing the club, they'll make something happen where they will actually pay that fee for him too. I think for me, the question then becomes when those two happen, and this is the question I want to put to the panel themselves. Let me just remove this really quickly. Yeah, is how much do you think you can get for Jackson? Because I'm gonna put it out there. Firstly, I probably can
60?
expect 50 M's for Jackson. Actually, I think 50 M makes sense to me.
Hello. I'll 50, but if he's going to a Prem team, 60. If he's going to a Prem team, I need more money.
Are we talking, Ahmed? Are we talking if just a club comes in for him and offers money?
Yes.
I
know what Scott's thinking.
I'm thinking the same thing Lucas is thinking. I'd say 45. Exactly. I'd say based off the season he's had, and I'll be honest, as much as I thought the first season was good, it wasn't spectacular. I'd say 45 to 50. But if this club has any sense about them, they offer Cash and Jackson for Rodgers. Any sense about them.
Or do a PSR swap is what he's saying.
Oh yeah, do a PSR swap. We'll buy him. I'll say we'll buy him for 70.
They're desperate.
They are going to be desperate.
They need cash in hand. They need cash in hand.
I've been telling people I've been telling people, literally, I've been telling people all summer that I've been telling Josh specifically, the Villa fan that's on Never a Foul, bro. We're coming
Say
for
goodbye to your
players.
team, bro.
You're gonna be begging us for our
Yup.
help. You're gonna be begging us for our help again, just like you did with Mattson. You're gonna be begging us for our help. Like, let's see, bro. Let's see what they end up on. Because if Joe Shields is gonna Joe Shields, it's gonna be Rodgers. Like, I thought it was gonna be. I thought we were gonna do Rodgers for Mattson last year. It's probably gonna be Rodgers.
I think from a central creation standpoint, I think he does a lot. He ticks a lot of boxes for us.
I'll be honest, if you look at who we've been linked with on the wing, and I do kind of want to like turn this towards a winger conversation. The people we've been linked with on the wing stink. Like we talk about the striker links, and I'm not happy with them. Bro, our winger links make the striker links look like we're looking at prime R9. Like our winger links reek. Like
so
they
you
are.
would you take Morgan Rodgers over João Pedro on the left?
100%.
Yes. On the wing, 100%.
Okay, chat. I'm gonna ask the chat again. Would you take Morgan Rodgers on the left wing over João Pedro?
At least with Rodgers, I know he's had experience playing on the wing within the last 2 years. Pedro's played on the wing within the last 2 years, like a handful of times. The last time he played on the wing was at Watford, when he was barely playing, and he was in and out of the team.
All of his games, he played on the wing at Watford.
Yeah.
He didn't play anywhere else other than in the left wing.
So, like, at least with Rodgers, I've got, okay, at least I know you can play on the wing immediately, and it's not going to take you, like, it's not going to be muscle memory, and you have to get back into remembering how to play on the wing. Also, he's used to playing with some of these players. He understands the City system. He's just a better player.
See, there is a variation in the chat. There isn't. It's not just a one person is all Rodgers and one person. There's some João Pedro.
I'll be honest, man. Listen,
Rodgers.
I'll be honest with you. You guys know what I think is gonna happen, so I'm just gonna,
what do you think? No, we don't know, Ahmed. I haven't been on the channel in a month. Tell us what's gonna happen, Ahmed.
I said, listen, a certain Portuguese winger's gonna come to the club, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's right. He's been talking about Leao. This is the tin hat theory, the Ahmed tin hat theory, right?
Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, man. We know what the game is around at Chelsea Football Club, man. And the thing is, I said that was genuinely dependent on us getting UCL. If we get UCL football, I said we'd probably get Rafael Leao, in my personal opinion. And the only reason why I say that is that if you're just looking at now, Leao now has been getting linked to a bunch of different other clubs. You know what I mean? Clearly, he's on the way. Clearly, he's on the way out. We know what Jorge Mendes is like with Chelsea Football Club and his Super Club stuff and everything like that. We need a left winger.
Ahmed loves rattling his chats.
Listen,
The math is listen. The math is mathing.
It's not mathing, bro. It's not mathing.
I do understand Ahmed's math, especially when it comes to Jorge Mendes. And I will say, at least this math has some working out, and I can see how you've got there, and I can see how it makes sense. Because, like, when I look at some of the people we've been linked with, I'll take Leao over Gittins, Garnacho, Williams. I'm taking him over Pedro on the wing. Like, because at least with the thing with Leao is, and I said this.
So now here's the good question then. Because it's two players that are going to be extremely expensive, right? Both of them are going to be very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers or Leao?
Rodgers. But Leao would be.
I think Leao would be. Leao.
The other thing I think with Leao as well is there's a couple of things. Number one is I think at least there is a level there of, like, I can go back to, okay, I know what he can get to if he fixes whatever's going on mentally, if he focuses, if he's in a different situation, which I think is part of it. I think part of what's happened to him the last couple of years is just environment, how much of a mess that club is, like how much of an absolute mess that.
Yeah, I agree with that part of that too.
And I know if he gets back to his best, I know what his best looks like. Mm-hmm. I know his best is he can take us to a title, or he can put us in that conversation. What the fuck am I? What the fuck is going on?
Sorry, Scott. I just wanted to spit this quickly. Man, Ahmed from Comic Con. Listen, respect Bridge Nation.
Ahmed from Comic Con.
Listen, Bridge Nation. You know what I mean? That's this for you. Special
Okay.
for you, baby.
He had to pull out the Thanos fucking
This
gauntlet
guy,
for you to
man.
get that
But yeah,
one.
as I said, I think if you can mitigate the defensive stuff, which I think on the left you can a lot better. Well, I think on both sides you can if Reece James is playing, but we see how good Kukurea has been 1v1 defensively, and I think if you have the cover on the left hand side for Leao, you can make up for it. It might mean
I mean, having
might
Kukurea
mean
is
switching
a
the-
big positive. Yeah.
Yeah,
100%. And I think
Kukurea is a big
if you
positive.
can tweak the midfield, so maybe you play what's it called, Enzo on the right potentially, and Caicedo on the left, you mitigate some of that or something. But yeah, so I think there's ways you can mitigate that. And like I said, if you can get him back to his
I
best,
got a question now. Now that I asked you this question, Scott, right? Now that I asked you this question, because I'm layering the questions for a reason. I'm not asking these questions for no reason. I'm layering them because you had a very specific point that I wanted to get to. Okay. So the point that you made earlier was specifically if we fill these other spots with 8 or 9 or 10 level talents, you would be okay with the strikers that we're getting.
yes.
Okay. Do those names that we just brought up fill that void of what you're talking about?
I think Rodgers, yes. I think Leao with a caveat. If you can get him back to his best, absolutely. What that takes, I don't know. Whether
I
it's
agree with that,
mental,
by the way, Lucas. You need to start making more polls on it.
yeah,
Don't worry, I got one right now with Leao.
whether it's whatever it is with Leao, if it's mental, if it's just like in terms of whatever it is, right? If you can get him back to his best, 100%. The other three, absolutely not.
I hate him so much. I hate.
Yeah, those two, yes. I think Rodrigo, like if we're doing similar to how we did for the strikers, like for me, the 3 wingers I'm saying yes to, and I'm not really saying yes to anyone else off the top of my head, is actually there's 4, but one of them is not happening, especially with the news that happened today. Leao, Rodgers, and Rodrigo in that order, ascending.
There's
I'm
another
sorry,
guy.
you did again. You started lagging.
Oh, apologies. So I'd say in ascending order, Leao, Rodgers, Rodrigo. If it's not one of those 3, or Lookman, but I don't think he moves now, I ain't interested.
I don't think he moves either, but yeah.
Yeah, you know, listen, there's another option. I don't think I'll class him as a 10, but I know the club obviously links with him.
Again.
He can play on the wing, bro. He can play on the wing. Doesn't mean that he's necessarily good at the job. Yeah. Yildiz from Juve. I'm hearing that Antonio.
Scott, you don't like this option?
He's a 10 that can play wing. Most of what he does well has come.
But that's what we're talking about for most of these players.
Yeah,
I mean,
but like
Pedro,
again,
Morgan Rogers, like that's really what we're talking
Rodgers,
about.
fair enough, but I know what Rodgers can provide from the wing. But the others are wingers who can like also play 10 when need be. Like, well, Leao's just a pure winger, and Rodrigo's
He's actually a pure winger, correct?
Yeah, but like, obviously the reason why I bring him up, obviously the club has been linked to him heavily. The club wants him. Antonio Nation might be on the way to Juventus as well. That's the going. That's what's been going on. And we know that
I heard Bakayoko was linked to Juventus as well.
Who was linked with Juve?
What do you mean, Antonio Conte? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Antonio Conte, right? Obviously, if he and you know what, Antonio Conte, man, this is like the antithesis player of him for him. So for me,
see, here's the thing: is there's a lot of players that are just not wingers.
Yeah,
but what it comes down to, it's just like there's like so many of them that we're looking at that are just like, oh, we're gonna convert them to wingers, aka Morgan Rogers or any of these players. Which like I don't mind it, right? Like I don't mind it at all, but it's just.
All right, let's quickly on the Leao poll. We've had over 23 votes, and it's 59% of you have said no to Leao. Wow, that's actually.
I'm not surprised either.
All right, next we'll do another cheeky poll while I'm waiting. Eze's, I think Eze, he needs to play centrally, bro. He can't play him on the wing, Eze, for me.
Yeah, he either needs to play centrally or play in a system.
He would die on the wing, bro.
Like if he played in Liverpool's system, well, actually I don't know about Liverpool's system now, but like Klopp's Liverpool system, he could play left wing. Lucas, he could play left wing in Klopp's system because it's like a lot closer to the box. He can't play wing in this system.
Mitoma I wouldn't go for. I'm sorry, guys.
No,
I know
not
people.
Mitoma.
How about Gordon?
No, not Gordon either. Gordon's had a terrible season. The fact
Something's
I'm
wrong
seeing
with
Gordon.
Newcastle, the fact I'm
that
seeing
has something
Newcastle,
wrong with that guy. His injury is worse than people are letting on. Like he
maybe,
might
but the fact I'm seeing Newcastle fans annoyed that the fact that Barnes has to be sacrificed for Gordon tells you how bad of a season Gordon's
Yeah.
had.
I do wonder also, you know, Newcastle, they just lost their guy in Paul Mitchell. And he's only
That's
had like one general, and he's only been there for like one general.
Bro, that is a mess over there, bro.
That's a mess,
Like,
bro.
They're like, I don't know
That's
what's
a
going
mess
on there
over there.
already.
Dude,
I don't know
Dave,
what's going on there, yeah.
like the thing that I don't understand is, are these brothers really about to give their first like potentially big transfer window, right? Because now they've been Champions League more than once. They can actually finally spend a bit, and they're giving the entire reins to Eddie Howe, bro.
I
That's
think it's
crazy.
I think it's just Eddie Howe while they find a replacement, but it depends. Like if they're smart, they get a replacement.
Yo, he's gonna go he's gonna go buy from Bournemouth. That's what he's gonna do.
Yeah, he's probably going to get some.
No, that's
No, the
what
thing is,
he's gonna
none-
do.
I don't think any of the people that are at Bournemouth anymore.
Yo, you
work.
don't think? No, he'll go get Semenyo, bro. You don't think he'll like a Semenyo?
He'll
Is like
get
No,
Semenyo, yeah.
but
You
like
know what
he
I'm
hasn't
saying?
worked. Like, at least with like Matt Ritchie when they bought him, and who the fuck with Callum Wilson, and there was someone else as well. At least he played with them. Like there's no one else at Bournemouth, I think, outside of Lewis Cook that he's like coached.
Yeah, that is true.
Semenyo was there.
No, Semenyo
No,
wasn't there.
Semenyo wasn't. Not when Howe was there.
No, he had his 1-2 punch, but it was Stanislas and the other guy that
Yo,
he
that
was
is
trying to
such a
buy.
weird fucking situation, bro.
Yeah, but like listen, that's quickly
Like,
on
does
this
that
one.
mean they don't want Nani no more? Like, they're not interested in Nani no more?
I
Well, I
have
think
no
it depends
idea.
on.
You
I
know,
think they're
is
probably-
it, or does that mean fucking Embuemo's they're not interested in Embuemo anymore? Which, by the way, if Embuemo could play on the left, go get him fucking Embuemo, son.
Oh, I think he can. Oh crap, Joey! Actually, thank
Honestly,
you for
to
reminding
me,
me.
go play Neto on the left and get Embuemo. That's how I would.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Fuck outta
yeah.
here with
Never
all the
mind.
other shit.
Hey, when we
Like-
talked about wingers earlier, put Mbeumo on that list, 100%. Never mind.
If you got me Embuemo, you put Embuemo on the right, Neto on the left, bro, and you got a striker. I'll be a happy man, son. I'll be happy, son. I'll be a
Yep.
happy man, bro.
That's
I know
more
I'm
than
gonna
good
get
enough,
10
bro.
goals from Embuemo, son. That's what I know. I know I'll get 10 goals from him. That's what I know.
Ahmed, don't let Pep get Turkey, man. Listen,
Eh,
I want Turkey. Listen, Bridge Nation has been a
Bro.
Turkey fanboy for a long time.
What are we gonna do with him in this team, bro?
yeah, I
Listen,
said Turkey don't play in this team.
Turkey. Listen, Turkey in the 10 in this team. Listen, man, I'm willing to sell palm for him. That's how strong my.
You're a
no,
dickhead.
I
You're a
love him.
dickhead. You're a
Yeah,
dickhead.
yeah, I agree.
You're
I
actually a
second
dickhead,
that.
bro.
I
You're a
second that.
dickhead, bro.
Listen, you know this is my channel. I will not be called a dickhead on my channel. Thank you. Thank you. But
But no, like the whole Turkey thing to me is weird from a like people pissed that he's going City because like they need.
But no,
two tens.
but no. But listen. But I think I said think about this logically. You put power back on the right.
Yo,
Turkey's in the
here's
middle.
my problem, okay?
And the left winger.
Oh
Here's
no,
my
no,
problem.
no, Ahmed.
Sinak,
If we're doing that,
You just said, Sinak, you just
What?
said
So that-
Embuemo good isolated under 2v1s. If Nani Madueke would just take his fucking man on earlier, he wouldn't be 2v1. Okay?
Yeah, he's not wrong.
This is our biggest issue. He does not take his man on early enough for it to be a one-on-one. It always turns into a 2v1 because he wants to sit around on the ball for fucking 3.5 minutes while he fucking watches the players come back. I'm fucking. That's my point. You actually don't like you. If you had a guy who is aggressive enough and is willing enough to run at his man, which Embuemo is more than willing, you're gonna get something out. He always gives us a fucking problem.
by the
let
way,
me-
to answer your Ahmed, to answer your question, like
By the way,
I don't know how
Esteval is exactly what I'm speaking about. That's why I do think he's gonna have a great season.
I don't know how feasible this would be. And the more I think about it, it's probably a good thing I don't run a club because I would just spend copious amounts of money without thinking about the ramifications. But if you're doing that, Ahmed, and moving Palmer to the right, I'm at least trying to hijack the Vert deal.
Why?
Nah.
Listen,
I'm saying no, because I don't know. The reason I say that is because I'm saying if Ahmed said, "Oh, to play Turkey, you move Palmer to the right." If you're moving Palmer to the right, and you have a
Oh, if
spot
you're
on the
moving
10, I'm
Palmer
going
to
to
the
get.
right,
Yeah, that's
I'll
what I'm
be
saying.
honest,
Go and get Vert.
listen. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. I need.
Get Grealish off my screen.
Listen, I'm just gonna be very real with you. Turkey in the 10. You know what I mean? He's already suited. He's did the league. He's done it in the French league. physicality wise and everything like that. He's got that edge, yeah.
Bro.
Works in my personal
Bro,
opinion.
he's gonna
Bro,
get
I'm not
ruined,
listening
bro.
to you after you said you
Bro,
sell
he's
Palmer to
getting
get.
ruined.
I'm not
Get
listening to you.
over
You
it.
said you
Everyone
sell
needs
Palmer to
to get
get
over
Cherky.
it.
I don't care what you gotta say, bro.
Everyone needs to
Respectfully,
get
I
over
don't care what you
it.
gotta say.
Yo, I already have. I can't. I saw the links and I came to the conclusion Pep is gonna take Cherky and ruin it. That's
Of
it.
course he is.
It's gonna actually be worse than fucking
Pep,
Grealish,
bro,
bro.
Pep
It
has to ruin.
It's gonna be worse
Pep
than
has to
Grealish.
ruin one baller every transfer window. You feel me? One transfer window per transfer window. He has
No, we can't let
to
this
sign
happen,
the kids of death to one baller per transfer window. It's necessary.
This is gonna be a crime that cannot be
It
committed.
was Savio.
stop.
It was
Also,
Savio.
Ahmed, by
Now
the
it was Savio. Now it's Marmouche, and then it's gonna be Cherky. One baller per season
By the
must
way,
die from
Ahmed,
Pep,
Ahmed,
bro.
I've just had a thought, by the way. Where do you
By the
when
way,
do you
Savio
think
and
Cherky-
Marmouche same season.
where do you think
Sorry, mate.
Cherky's even playing in that system, by the way?
Which one, the Chelsea system or the Man City system?
No, in the City system.
Wallahi, bro, I have no idea.
It's on
You
the
know
wing,
something?
bro. Like,
It
hang on,
has to be.
if they get wait.
You probably
If
will
they
be.
get
It'll probably
everyone
be
they're
Doku.
Yo, the only place he can play is on the wing because he's not
It'll
gonna.
probably
Yeah,
be Doku. It'll be Doku.
No, but Joey, it's not even that. Like, if they get everyone they're linked with, they're going to get Reinders, they're going to get Gibbs White, who will play in the 10. So Cherky has to play on the wing, bro.
He's gonna make him his
It's
Real
always
Mahrez
gonna
on
be
the wing.
Foden play.
It'll be his
Or
Real
that's
Mahrez on
how
the wing.
Echeverry plays. Can
It'll
tell
be
me
his
what? Can tell, like, yo, they're gonna have they'll have Cherky at left back by the end of it. Son. like that's
Can he defend?
straight up.
Why is Grealish being talked about, man? Chat, what's going on,
I don't know, man.
bro? Man, all of this Grealish stuff, bro. What's going on? What's going on, man? Chill out.
I
bro.
want
Grealish, bro.
Cherky to get away
Anyway,
from me.
bros. No,
Don't
it doesn't matter, bro.
don't-
Cherky's
Don't
not going.
come to
The thing is,
England,
Cherky. Listen,
Ryan.
Cherky's dying either
Do
way.
not
Because
come to England. Arab to Arab.
as I was
Do not
saying,
come
yeah,
to England,
don't come to
Ryan.
England, bro.
Do
Because
not
if
come to
it,
England.
by the way, if it's not City, he's going United. He's dying either way.
No, he's not.
Now, to be
going
fair,
to-
there are a few teams in
Listen,
England he
man.
could go to.
There is some
But
teams
I
in
think-
Italy that want him, bro. There are teams in Italy that
Listen,
want
go to
him.
Roma, man. Go to Roma, please. Go to Roma. You
Bro,
survived that.
Under
If you
Gasperini.
get
Yeah,
under
yeah.
Gasperini,
Man wants him to
Yep.
go to Roma to get physically or verbally abused, bro. Like,
Listen, don't worry, man.
man wants to look them treatment.
Yeah.
I'd much rather that.
Yeah,
I would much rather that.
yo,
I would much
Scott
rather
always has like the little tidbits that I forget about, and then he
Listen,
brings them up
I'd
and I'm
much
like, oh,
listen.
Bro wants him to get that Lookman treatment, bro. Like, what?
Listen, let's make it happen, man. Look how Lookman's been cooking. That's it, man. That's what we need.
This man said,
We need
"Let's
that.
make it happen, bro."
Let's make it happen, man. Sometimes, man, you need a guy that's gonna be a dickhead. Don't worry, man. Dickheads matter. Dickheads matter, man. I like it.
Oh
Send him
my,
to
I like
AC,
it.
yeah,
He
Someone
send him
said
to
too,
send
bro.
him to a club that's in hell. Hell no. We do not want to send him to that type of club. Please.
Nah, send him
Say-
to AC, son.
No, AC's
Send
in
him to
hell.
AC. Let AC get Thiago Motta and rebuild the squad with them too.
No, they're never gonna be able to
I
rebuild.
tell you
bro.
what, I'd love to see. Like, I would actually like if he does come to the Prem. I tell you, what I'd really like to see him play.
Okay.
Yo, if we had the opportunity to still get Kudus, I'd still fucking take.
Oh yeah,
Kudus.
I'd still get him as well,
Mm.
like 100%.
I'd take
Um,
Kudus all day. If
No,
Neto
by the
was
way-
good, if Neto was straight with playing left wing, I'm taking Kudus all day.
By the way, there are.
He can't play left wing. Kudus cannot play left wing. He cannot.
No, he can't. I tell you what, there are two places where I'd love to see Cherky play if he did come to the Prem. One of which kind of fits based on the club he's at now, and that's Bournemouth and Palace. I'd love to see him play in those teams. Like, but I don't
You know
think.
what
I think
I'd
he's
actually
aiming
say?
higher.
No.
As
You know
long
what?
as
No.
Glasner stays.
Fulham actually. You know what? He would work at Fulham. You know.
Yeah, Fulham.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No. Fulham would be perfect for him because look at
Nah,
it.
Glasner.
You have the striker.
I like what Glasner's doing, bro. I like what Glasner's doing with.
I'll be honest. I think Potter didn't. Potter nerfed
I
him.
like that.
because
That
it's the
front
team
line,
shit.
bro.
Potter nerfed him because the team shit. I'll be honest. At West Ham, the West Ham
Nah.
team is shit. That's why.
Nah. Palace likes physical attackers, bro. Like most of their attackers are physical, unless you're gonna replace them with replace Eze with them. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
if you do Eze, if you actually do like a him and Eze in that 10, that'd actually be kind of cooking. I'll be honest.
Nah, Sarr is too important to that team, bro. You don't understand how
Yeah,
important
nice.
Sarr is to that team. He's the one that stretches the pitch for them. He's the only one who stretches the pitch for him. Only one.
Just a little bit of interest in these.
I watch too much of
Oh,
that team.
get
I
rid
like
of it.
Adam Wharton
Get
too
rid
much.
of this
Listen,
man.
after tomorrow's final, Chelsea will inform Jadon Sancho of their decision on if he is staying or returning to Manchester
Get
United.
rid.
Now, this is also missing a little bit of context because Fabrizio also mentioned that there is concrete, possibilities that he will be sent back to Manchester United.
Yeah, of course, bro.
Yeah,
Listen, him and Mudryk are getting the same treatment. They're getting the medal, and then they're getting kicked out the club, bro.
Also, Goldberg was mentioning that it's 99% like that he's gone basically. So
yeah, bro. I could have told you that.
Yeah. So listen, again,
bro. Tyreek George had more impact on the running, bro.
Listen, my brother Tariq the Freak George, he's cooking all the time.
Don't call him the Freak. He's a kid, bro. That's weird.
Okay,
he's a kid, bro. That's crazy.
He's actually 18, but
you might as well just call him Sakai Obaka. You might as well just call him that.
I cannot feel bad for someone that made Ola Aina eat on him for 1v1. You know what I mean? These man put three.
Ola Aina, I'm gonna say something about that game. Ola Aina was playing for us in that game, son.
Yep.
Yo, W Ola Aina, bro. So was Chris Wood. So was Chris Wood, man.
Ola Aina and Chris Wood were playing for us in that game.
They were proper Chels, man.
Like, especially Ola Aina, bro. Ola Aina.
By the way,
every cross except one cross that he had.
Yeah, we haven't talked about this yet as well, but like by all accounts, right? The way that the summer window is looking, it's looking like we're gonna do maybe the double striker, the winger, maybe an extra winger as well, like a back winger, just because of the fact that we don't have because Sancho and Mudryk are gone, so we're losing 2 wingers.
Yeah, but we're gaining one winger in Esteval, who I think is going to get a lot of minutes next season. Like, I'm not saying that I'm not.
Okay, fair enough. No. If you count him as a backup for the wing, that's fine. And then we haven't talked about this position yet, but center back. We are getting in a center back. That's like been. So who would that even be though? That's my question.
I don't know, man.
We were linked with Hoyson, and Hoyson is gone. So now what?
The centre back's another one. It's not quite as bad as the wingers, but it's another one where I look at it and
we didn't know one of them's coming in. We didn't know who one of the centre backs coming in is.
Gagey, bro.
Yeah, he's guaranteed one of them. And then
I know we lost all our penny stocks, son.
Someone said, and I was thinking about this, Anko was the other one that I was hearing about.
I love that signing.
The issue I have with the centre back.
Those two are growing up as well.
Who do you think
he's like the vice captain of that
team? I think we definitely gotta keep him Fofana because he's gonna have a surgery. I'd want to keep Jehovah's Witness, to be honest.
Wait. He's getting another surgery.
No. He Fofana already had his surgery, so he's not going. He's recovering.
Marseille Nation. I know you're going.
What do you mean? Fofana's literally recovering. He's still technically injured. We can't sell him. We can't sell him. Who do
you think
I really don't want to get a young center back. I don't want Mascara or Ordonez. Even though
no. The signing, I already said. For me personally, I still think Pierre is a top center back. I still think he's a top center back. I've been saying this before. I said Pacho was a great center back.
If you're gonna go for Hato, you might as well get Hincapié. If you're gonna go for Hato, you might as well get Hincapié.
Yep. I said Pacho before PSG even got him, and people were saying I was just Ecuadorian agenda. There you go, bro. There you go.
Say no to Hincapié, man. Say no to Hincapié.
See?
Fuck off, Ahmed. Fuck off.
No, Ahmed is the same person. Ahmed is the same person. When I mentioned Pacho, he's like, no, say no to Pacho. Okay, how's that going for you, Ahmed? How's that going for you, fraud?
It's getting wrong. Actually.
Scott, what's your thoughts on Hincapié?
My thing with Hincapié, I think if you're going to get him as the backup to Cucurella, absolutely. If you're going to get him to play,
he's a center back, bro. I'm telling you, he plays center back for Ecuador. He's a center back, man. He can play wide, but he's insane. He's insane. He's insane. He's insane as a center back, bro. He's insane as a center back.
RSM. That's what I was going to ask. Because obviously you watch way more Ecuador than I do. What do you guys play for Ecuador? Like formation?
Back four. We have 2 center backs, 2 wing backs. Yeah, he plays left center back. Yeah, pretty much.
I thought he played left back.
Left back most of the time.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't play left back. He doesn't really play left back. He only played left back for Ecuador 1 game because both of our fullbacks were injured. That's it.
But otherwise,
when I went and watched Ecuador versus Mexico, that's literally where he played. He played left back. That was just like.
Because we had Estupiñán was
The way that he played left back though is he would tuck in. And then he would just get up on occasion.
The thing with Ecuador is we like.
That's the point I was going to make. Where the only issue I have with Hincapié is because when I've seen him play for Bayern, because I haven't seen him play for Ecuador, he's always played as the left centre back in a free, but as an actual free. Whereas for us, he would play as the left in this idea, who plays left centre back on the ball in a 3, but in a back when we defend in a 4, he would be left centre back in a 2, which I don't know if he can do.
No, that's fine. No. He's amazing. And yeah, he's amazing as a center back pairing. Like in a flat back 4, he's amazing.
Bro,
This is why like Ecuador's defense
this is the type of center back. This is the type of center back, right? In my opinion, that would allow you to at least get Colwell back inside in the middle. Like that's the type of center back that could get you Colwell back into the middle. That way you have.
And by the way, I need you to understand this. By the way, he is an insane aerial threat on set pieces, bro.
Yes.
He scores an insane amount of set pieces for
And he's
Leverkusen,
good
but also for Ecuador, bro.
Very good defensively,
Bro, he scored. I think Ekitike scored 2 goals off of set pieces against Uruguay, and we're talking Araujo. You feel me? Like it wasn't baby little center backs that he was scoring these goals against in South America. I'm saying he's good, bro.
Let's do a poll. Yeah, you know.
By the way, the reason I asked, just while you're doing the poll, the reason I asked, by the way, about the centre back to who you think we keep is because the more I think about it, numbers wise, I don't know if we need to buy 2, because if we buy 2, we're gonna have 6 centre backs. Yeah, if we buy 2, we're gonna have 6 centre backs.
That's realistic, boys. Yeah,
but that's why I think you get a center back that could play left back for us. That's why I think you do that. That's why you do that.
So like
if you're gonna get Hato, right, Scott? If you're gonna get Hato, you might as well get Hincapié because it's the same profile. It's the same exact profile.
And his price isn't crazy, and he's proven in Europe, bro. Like
you're gonna get the same numbers. It's probably 50 regardless. Like you're gonna pay 50 regardless for either.
That's what I'm saying.
Right? Like you're gonna pay 50 regardless for either. So if you're gonna pay for Hato, right? Which we all know is just a really young option. Like he's 19 years old. He's supposed to be the left-footed timber, per se, right? Like that's what he's supposed to be. Hincapié actually can play the center back, where Hato you kind of doubt because of his height. Like Hincapié can actually play center back because the aerial, the height, the aerial ability, all that good jazz.
Joey, I agree. But the issue that I have is positioning the squad in terms of if you're bringing Hincapié in, are you saying he starts?
Yeah, I would say.
I would say, yeah, I would start him. I would start him over Fofana. But by the way, his recovery pace is really good. His recovery pace is good. He's exactly what the team could do as well. That's cool. Why he can also play left back.
So what we're saying is we're signing
instead of having Colwell defending wide areas. You would never have that issue anymore.
Ever.
Literally would never have that issue anymore.
I think realistically.
So just Ahmed quickly. So the question I was going to ask then off the back of this. So we're saying we get Hincapié in, and he plays centre back. Is that the only centre back you're signing him instead of Guehi, or you're signing Guehi as well?
No, I'm just signing Hincapié.
I would sign just Hincapié.
That's fine. That's where I think I was a bit confused. Yeah, if you're getting Hincapié to do this and have him as both backup left back, but also starting centre back. It makes no sense getting another centre back then on the top.
Agreed, yeah. Exactly bro, Hincapié solves so much for us, bro. So much.
Said, the profile that they're looking at, the player that they're looking at is Hato, right? Like that's the player. Like that's the one.
I think they're looking at 2 centre backs, but I think they're looking at Hato as a left back who can play centre back in a team if need be, but alongside a Guehi who is going to be the primary centre back signing. Yes. Which I think makes.
But that means that doesn't make much sense numbers wise.
For me, so again,
it makes sense in terms of. It makes sense in terms of it's basically what Vega was going to be. Like the issue was
right. So but like I guess my thing is this, right? If we're bringing Guehi in, does that mean it's just Trev is going to leave and then that's the replacement? Like
no.
Realistically, so I think the centre backs. So I think the centre backs next season will be based on what I think. This is obviously one of these. I think I'm almost certain one of these. Joey, you'll say will not be here, but I think it's going to be Guehi, Colwell, Fofana, Tosin and Sar. I think Sar stays.
I don't even know if that Sar deal is actually done, bro.
Yeah, I just want to bring up
that's been debated. That's been like
it will get done. I think the issue is if we both got Champions League or both were in the same competition.
Yeah, I think for me anyway. I think for me anyway, Disasi we know is leaving. Badi issue is gonna probably leave, right? Vega's gonna probably
most
leave.
likely. Yep.
Trevor probably almost likely. So you're losing 4 guys, right? So who's remaining for you? I think Fofana even could leave if an offer comes in for him that's decent enough.
I think he's injured though. That's my issue. I don't think he's healthy.
Well, listen again, June. Listen, there's still July and August.
His ass is not passing the medical, bro.
No, July and August exist, man. July and August exist for a reason.
Yeah, but
he just had surgery. He's not. Yeah, he's not
available till November, bro.
He had.
Yeah,
He had the
November.
surgery. Yes, he's gone for a long time, bro. I told you
Yeah,
we're
he's
not
gone
selling
wild,
him.
bro.
He's injured.
He's cooked.
Okay, listen, yeah.
I told
Then-
you, like,
Fofana, then what? What? Fofana,
Because realistically,
Cole.
you could still get Hincapie and Gahey if you wanted.
Fofana and Cole.
You
I
could.
don't
Yeah.
think you could, but then Cole drops to the bench, and I don't know if they do that.
you know, they're not dropping Cole. They're not dropping Cole.
That's the issue. Is I think as much as it might be what we would do, like, because I agree with you, Joey. Like, I think that as a centre back partnership with Cole on the bench is the next guy up. Great, fantastic. But I don't think that's what the club would do with, especially with how, like, I think the club would maybe feel differently if Cole hadn't finished the season how he just finished the season.
Yeah,
Like, he just finished the season being like
Facts.
incredible in terms of how
he
solid
was
he was.
fantastic. You can't give him.
You
So,
can't
like,
hit on it.
He was
So I was
awesome.
gonna say, so what the way that I would look at it, I think the club would look at it is as long as you can if you can get an upgrade on Tosin next to him, and an upgrade on Fofana in terms of whether that be experience plus quality, which I would
If
say
he's back
Gahey
in
is.
July, then he can be sold. EPL turf.
As long as you can pass the medical, that's the thing.
Yep.
Yeah, as long as well, with as I said with Gahey, like I think he's better than Tosin in terms of
But from what
leadership
I was
and
told, he was
quality.
not going to be available until late.
But I do like Hincapie. It's just like now that RSMs have explained about the position thing, it's just like I said, I don't know how it would work out with everyone else. But I think if you can sell Fofana, which I don't think they can,
I
you've then got another
legitimate.
space to score.
Yeah, but I legitimately think. I legitimately think it should be Cole. It should be Cole with Hincapie, bro. That works perfectly fine. We don't need to worry about Fofana at that point. Hincapie don't be getting injured like that either, bro. He really doesn't.
Yeah, but maybe that's the Bundesliga tax. But I just want to bring this up
This
quickly.
guy, bro.
The
Yeah, this
streaks,
guy.
Any chance he has to hate someone, son. Any
listen, the
chance.
streaks right now, they're saying 46% no, 54% yes to Hincapie. So it's a very tight market there. So but he's just getting a few yeses right now. So big up to Hincapie, man. I'm gonna end the poll there for him.
I also don't know how many pieces Bayern Leverkusen are going to want to
One thing, lose.
get rid of, you know?
But they're guaranteed to lose at least like 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Mm.
Like, they're
I
already.
saw that we were looking to get Rudiger back.
Oh, bro, if you can, if there's
Bro, that's
I
obviously
would-
the best case scenario, bro.
okay,
That's
sure.
what
I,
Yeah,
don't know, I would
no
not.
word of a lie.
I would not want
No word of
Rudiger.
a lie. I would do if this ownership group and these sporting directors managed to pull that off. I would.
He's
I'd wear a
injured.
wing cap.
He's
I'd wear
injured.
a-
He's injured until it says late July 2025.
If they could,
So
sign
I don't
him,
know.
Yeah, and I don't think he wants
I
to
don't know,
stay.
bro.
I don't
He's-
understand
he
the
wants to
amount
stay
of
at
I do for
Madrid.
these sporting directors if they pull that off.
No,
I would
Scott. The
not-
thing is, Scott. I understand. It's just like he's injured, bro. That's the big thing.
I personally just don't want him. I would not want him.
Yeah, fuck you. We don't care.
We don't
I
care
think
what
for
you
me,
Oh my
no,
God.
but again, I think for me, again, it just comes down to what. Listen, I think the leadership and experience value is that a big thing for me from Rudiger. Yes, but then at the same time, we also need to realize the level of wear and tear this guy just had in the last 2 years of his Real Madrid career, bro. He's
played. By the way, for Chelsea, he played 203 matches. For Real Madrid, he's played 151, bro.
Yeah, I think just the level of wear and tear and at his age and everything like
Yeah,
that.
they've been.
Yeah.
They don't. They didn't.
Yeah,
have
bro.
any backup
They
for
have
him.
Yeah.
ran him into the ground. They've
That's
ran
why-
him into the ground.
That's why for
That's
me,
fair.
yeah, that's why for me, just listen, we need to be a bit more logical now. Approach
If it was a
any
free
season of
transfer, I'd take it.
Yeah. But obviously, in regards to goalkeeper, I know that
we don't have to talk about that.
this
It's
I
Petro
mean,
Nation, bro. It's Petro Nation.
steady on, mate, steady on. There's been reports about
He found a link to Chevalier. He's gonna bring up.
Yeah, he
yeah,
did.
no,
bro.
actually, I was gonna talk about
Was it
Garcia.
Magnon?
There was
Oh,
that Garcia. There was the Garcia link. Apparently,
Oh,
that
no, I'm good,
Chelsea's interested in him. Obviously, you guys just brought up Chevalier. I don't even know anything about Chevalier.
Oh, Ahmed, can you send Prime the link, bro?
No, we're gonna end it soon. Prime, I need
Yeah,
to.
I'm about to say,
I need to relax my eye firstly because I need to go to the optometrist tomorrow to get it fixed. So we're not lasting any more longer than this. But yeah, Chevalier obviously, as I said before, you guys have said it right now, it's been linked as well. Magnon is also being linked. The club are trying to maybe bring him in. I would probably say no to him sadly because he's looking a bit washed these days, and I'm not really looking to bring in any more washed players. I get nightmares about Koulibaly every time I see him these days. So let's not make that one happen. But listen, if you
By the
want
way,
to
can I
bring
just say
in,
on sorry, I just want to say on this Garcia thing. Am I the only one who just doesn't see it?
I don't see it.
Yeah.
No, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't see
Yeah.
it.
Because I'm not going to lie to you. He's like, EPL Turf has said it. He's been linked to like 47 clubs. Only one of those clubs is he a guaranteed starter, and it's the club that's about to have no goalkeepers by the end of the window. So, like, Arsenal, he was going to be the backup. Barca, he's going to be backup at best, maybe third choice. Here, like, Villa will buy him and be the starter because they have no goalkeepers.
Yeah.
They're about to have no goalkeepers. So, of course, he's going to start. Like, I don't see it.
Yeah, man. Listen, one thing I do want to just point out rather quickly. If Chelsea smart, Chevalier Nation is that, I'm willing to sell Petrovic for Chevalier, man. I'm just gonna let you know right now, bro. I'll do that in a heartbeat. I'll do it in a heartbeat, man. People can hate me for saying that, but what I get from Chevalier, man, is he's the real deal. He's
How
the
much
real
would he
deal,
go
man.
for?
Literally only 35 M's, man. 35 M's. Look at that, man. That
No,
is-
we got better, bro. We got someone
Listen,
better.
listen, we're eating good on that one, man. You know
Bro,
what I mean?
he couldn't even
Sanchez-
outdo Petrovic in his own league, bro. Why are we
No.
doing this?
Yeah, but listen, Petrovic was he was a lucky lad. He had a good defense.
A
man.
lucky lad.
A lucky
Yeah.
lad. Look at this
No, I
guy,
mean-
man.
Based
That's it,
off
man.
what, Ahmed? Let's talk about it. Let's expose your League One knowledge right now. Based off what?
He was playing with old men in front of him.
You're a criminal.
You're a criminal.
He's a criminal.
You know, he faced the most shots in the league, man. I'll be honest, man. You know, I felt for him, man. You know what I mean? It was a hard year this year, man. You know, a lot of the man them were killing him. You know what I mean? Bulka, he's still good, decent goalkeeper. But listen, I think Chevalier Nation, man, he's the real deal, man. He's bold. You know what I mean? He's always got the number one.
Bro,
Remember. That's
if you
real
can't
good,
even
man.
beat our... If you can't
Sorry,
even
Ahmed. The
beat
last
out-
goalkeeper we had went really well.
No. He's a number one all over. He's a number one all over. That's what I respect about him.
No, but cool. The last number one, like the last guy we had that went number one all over was really good, wasn't it?
I mean, he actually decided to become good when he became bold. So it might be a net positive.
Is that you saying you want him to stay? Yeah.
That's me saying
I'm
send it to Turkey.
Yo, but no, wait,
Send it to Turkey.
wait. Can we do one last thing, by the way? Can we do one thing? Can you go onto FootMob and you know, like the little graph that you brought up? Can you bring that up for Chevalier and for Petrovic, please?
Can't do that.
I just want to see. I just want to see.
You gotta MB. You gotta MB so you can put them together.
No, I want to go. I don't go FootMob first, and then we can go that.
And the worst crime you can commit is dick riding without a license.
Fucking hate that fucking clip, bro. I hate that clip so much.
I know. I'm not doing it. That's what's going on now.
Okay. Well, let's see right here. Okay, since the fraud isn't doing it, I'll do it myself. So as you can see, this.
Yeah, so listen, you gotta tell everyone that's it. Listen, you know what I mean? Stream, you know what I mean? Lovely, jubbly.
Here's
you know what I
Petrovic,
mean?
by the way. Here's Petrovic. This is Petrovic. This is Chevalier.
Oh
This is Chevalier
God.
right here.
Yeah.
This is Petrovic. Same league, by the way. This is the same exact league. There we go. Ahmed's a criminal. Ahmed is legitimately a criminal, bro. We got good food at home. Why are we gonna go shopping? We have good food at home.
Listen, my eyes don't lie, man. My eyes don't lie. That's what I'm gonna say, man. But-
Hey, you've only got one eye at the moment, so they probably do.
Yeah.
Yo, he cooked you. Now you're
What do
finished.
you guys think about
Ahmed, he
the keeper
finished
from
you.
Parma?
Ahmed, he finished you, brother.
Suzuki.
Yeah, Zion.
Nah.
I'm
Ahmed, you need
just
to end the
good
stream.
on
Ahmed, you need to end the stream, bro.
Just stick with what we have for right now and figure out everything else outside of that, in my opinion.
Look at Sterling. What are you laughing at, you fucking fraud? What is he laughing at? Bro, what is he laughing at?
Bro, I just
Did you just see that?
I just missed that. I just missed that still.
Well, goddamn, Carl Lewis, where you going?
Come on, man, please.
Huh? Please what? What? Please what? Boy, you're shaking like a stripper. Tighten up. I'm so disappointed in you this evening.
Wow. But listen, at the end of the day, guys, I've been the host of the Most Division Nation. You can find my boy Wab Sports on Wab Sports. As always, I'm gonna be here tomorrow. When is the final? What time is it? 8 p.m. Is it just the same time?
Yeah, I think so. 7 or 8. I can't remember.
Yeah, whatever it is. Listen, we'll be here. I'll be popping bottles as usual. I might actually have be wearing an eye patch. Might be wearing an eye patch tomorrow, to be honest. Actually, you know, because all things considered, but once I go to the optometrist, but it is what it is. But listen, Bridge Nation out. We'll be enjoying ourselves. I might just show you what I brought from Comic Con as well, because might as well. Because like, listen, it's Conference League final, bro. I have I really do not have any feelings for the Conference League final, bro. You know, I'm just gonna be so real with you. I just want it to end so I can just find out who we're signing. I hate to put it like that, but that's just the game I'm gonna play right now. But I don't need to shave this
feelings
fucking
if you
mustache.
lose, though.
If we lose, then you know, listen. Time to sell that boat. Time for that boat forward to leave my club. And you know, and we know which one I'm talking about. But listen, it is what it is. I've been the most the Bridge Nation. This has been RSM TV, Web Sports, Scott, and my good friend Keyshawn. Make sure to follow Keyshawn for all things wrestling. Amazing channel as always, man. I hope he didn't review Saturday Night Main Event because I'll be honest, mate. It's we're going back to 2019 levels, but it is what it is. Game's the game. As always, peace and guidance. We're going
Peace.
into
Bro, I can't believe you're